Hello friends, thanks for stopping in. If this is your first time visiting, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. If you haven't already done so, please hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you as a subby friend. And if you are interested in doing a glitter epoxy beach tumbler, well, stay tuned. So this is one of my absolute favorite tumblers to do, and it's one of my favorite tumblers to give. So this tumbler is so pretty, and I have a certain group of glitters that I myself really like using when I do this, and I did this using beach sand. So this tumbler is for my fellow Floridian, Katie. I hope that you love it and know that it was made for you with lots of love and time. So this, for the sand, I actually went out to Cocoa Beach. I picked up some sand and I cleaned it, dried it, and sifted it and used it on the tumbler. So this is actual Florida beach sand, and that's what I do prefer to do when I can. And I just love all the shimmer and the glitter in here. Like, I love these to just sort of like remind me of not only the beach, but like a mermaid. And I love the shimmery color. This is just like I said, it is one of my favorites to do. So if you would like to see how to do this glitter epoxy beach tumbler, please stay tuned and I will be adding the video. But I really like it. I hope you do too. And Katie, I hope you love it. And for those of you who are interested, I was supposed to be getting my vaccine today. However, I went to get it and I have been disqualified because of my anaphylactic reaction to a vaccine in the past. So we'll see. All right, listen, stay tuned and have a blessed and beautiful day, friends. Thanks so much for stopping in. Bye. All right, for this tumbler, I just want to show you the supplies before I mix up my epoxy. So on this one, I'm actually going to be doing multiple colors of glitter. You certainly don't have to do this many colors. I just have an arrangement that I like. Now on the bottom, I'm going to be using beach sand. So this is actual Florida beach sand that I picked up myself, sifted and dried out. And then from Glitter Chip, I'm gonna do Beach Please. And this kind of gives like that sand and shell mixture. And then from there, I'm gonna be doing Glitter Chip's Ocean Treasures. And I like to do this one next because it's got that little gold mixed in it. So it's sort of like the sand and the water mixed together. And then from there, I'm gonna go to, this is Winter Solstice, which the name you wouldn't think about for a beach tumbler, but if you can see, there's like green and blues in there, and the color combination is just really pretty, and it's, just a really nice water combination. So there's that. And then from there, I've got Breakfast at Tiffany's, and it's just this deeper blue. And then I'm gonna move to this lighter blue, which is called Dive. Okay, so I'm gonna mix up my epoxy, get started. My tumbler is starting with a base. So it's not actually white. Sometimes I'll just, say, a light color base or white base, but technically it's not really white. It's actually a gray chalk paint, and I like to use the light gray chalk paint instead of the white, just because it's not so stark, And then the bottom, I put a little bit of brown paint on the bottom because I'm doing the sand and I just want to make sure that it has a good mix and color. And as you can see, I sort of like let it go up in places because you'll see people do like this perfect brown edge, and you know, really the beach doesn't look like that. So if there's a little bit of brown goes up underneath some of my glitter, I like that. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna mix up my epoxy and I'll be back. All right, friends, so I mixed my epoxy. It is my Pro Marine 2-part epoxy, part A and part B. It is mixed at equal parts by volume, not weight, by volume. So for this, I'm going to take my epoxy and I'm going to cover my entire tumbler. Now I don't want it to be too heavy. I want it heavy enough to hold in all my glitter, and I want to make sure that every single piece is covered, but I don't want it to be too heavy. And I'm just going to go in, smooth it all out, make sure that everything is covered well, and have it prepared to start putting on my glitter. So now we're going to get ready to put on the first layer, which is our sand. Now, each time I do this, I put something underneath to catch it, and I am going to put my sand on the bottom. And I use a spoon, sprinkle it on. Again, this is Florida beach sand. It has been dried, cleaned, and sifted. Now, since this tumbler is for the winner of our drawing, and she is a fellow Floridian, I thought it was only right to use Florida beach sand on this. So now I'm going to go in with the Glitter Chimps Beach Please, and I love this color next because it's like beach sand and seashells mixed together. So it is a good color to kind of come in and give that sparkle that you see under the sun when it like hits a shell. Super nice. And then next I'm going to go in with Ocean Treasures. Now, the Ocean Treasures I like to do next because it is a blue and a gold kind of mix, and I feel like it's a good segue into the water. Now, you certainly don't need to do all the layers of glitter that I do if you don't want to. You know, for me, this is an art piece, and it's how I like to do it. You can also do this with spray paint if you would prefer. And then next I'm going to go in with the Winter Solstice. Now the Winter Solstice is actually a beautiful ocean type of glitter because it is this blue and this like nice ocean green kind of mixed together. And underneath the alcohol ink that we'll be putting on, it just gives this unbelievable sparkle, and I love it so much. So the next color that I'm going to do, and now I'm going to start doing some bigger spaces with my colors. So this one is the Breakfast at Tiffany's. And it is a nice transition from that Winter Solstice blue because it's like a blue-green kind of blue. And then I'm going to go up and just hold it up high and dab a little bit in other places. And then next I'm going to go in with the Dive. And this is going to be the blue that finishes off my beach. And as you can see, every now and then I let myself go down and just sort of drop a little bit here and there in other places in the cup. And it just allows it to all blend in really nicely. Now we'll let this spin until it dries. See you soon. All right, so my cup has a thin layer of epoxy over the glitter, all right? So now I'm going to put some epoxy on it because I'm now gonna do some alcohol ink, and I wanna make sure everything moves. So I gotta have epoxy on there for that to happen. Now I'm gonna be using alcohol ink in 2 different colors of blue, and then I'm gonna be using some white acrylic paint, and I have that mixed inside epoxy. Now, with my alcohol ink, I like to start out with it mixed in the epoxy. And then what I have found is that if I find myself feeling like I want more color, then I will just add dabs of alcohol ink directly to the piece from there. But I like to start with it mixed in. It gives it a different color, a different hue having it mixed in. So that's how I like to start. And then I have my heat gun, and I'll be using that to blow my white to make my waves. So now I'm just gonna put a little bit of epoxy with alcohol ink. Both my blues and my whites.
Oh, they're here.
I'm filming.
Huh?
I'm filming.
I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. I'm sorry.
I'll take a look at. Wait.
Now that I've kind of moved that, I need to just go in and add just tiny bits. Of dark. I don't want a lot. That right there is honestly probably more than I want. But so now I just want to put in a tiny little bit just gonna kind of put it on. Now my white is just a little bit of acrylic paint. I'm gonna do this in kind of like sections. So now I've let my white sit. It's not super stiff, but it's a lot stiffer than what it was. So now I'm just gonna come in and I'm gonna put this thicker white on. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my All right, so now I'm just gonna leave it and let it do its thing.